Suzie Robinson showcases the social features of some of the best intranet systems as reviewed in our recent report.
So, digital community spaces are more important than ever, with 2 years of remote working for almost all desk-based workers bringing the gaps into sharp relief. Then there's the front line, who have been long ignored by the market, but mobile intranet experiences have dramatically improved over the past few years as well. We found that collaboration now frequently takes place away from an intranet, but that doesn't mean that project spaces, social areas, communities of practice, or similar aren't still needed. For example, Joe is an intranet manager, and they've been asked to create a space for Project X. This space is for project managers to share their finalised documents with each other, and also project group members to see where they're working collaboratively in teams to see the final documents published somewhere. But it also allows the rest of the company to see news and status updates about the project. They've also been approached by Mike in the HR department. He would like more interactive and conversational space for HR, as opposed to a more traditional intranet area. He'd like a feed of questions, conversations, and other activities with the HR team, alongside help desk tickets, blog posts from him, and links to core systems. Beezy and Axera's Communifier are two examples here of flexible spaces that could help Joe. As part of Project X, Joe has been asked to introduce a method for gathering ideas from across the business. Through a tool like Beezy, the process can be bright and social, using features to get people talking, as well as practical through detailed progress tracking. Mike has asked Joe how they can encourage people to use the HR site and intranet further, and how it could support some minor L&D activities. Using Communifier, Joe can introduce gamification with configurable targets and badges, then share leaderboards to encourage gentle competition. Joe also wants to start several communities to help capture expertise from across the business and expand on people's knowledge. Koyo includes a nice wiki feature that people across the community could contribute to, capturing expertise from those who truly know how something works. To encourage conversation and bring experts together, Joe and their publishers can create and manage events, as well as encouraging formal conversation through community activity feeds. Having a set of flexible applications to build these spaces really is beneficial, as it means they can be tailored for specific needs, such as dedicated onboarding space for new employees, gradually introducing them to Joe's business. So having these sorts of spaces allows you to really think about how you want to separate out Microsoft Teams activities and this sort of community space. There are lots of social and community features that I've not touched on, but I wanted to mention a couple more before I move on. Yammer is, of course, a big social elephant in the room, and many vendors integrate nicely with it, as well as offering their own alternatives. Where SharePoint is in use, the integration is understandably particularly good, and Yammer can fulfill at least some of Joe's discussion, Q&A, praise, and polls needs. Where Joe has chosen a different social approach that isn't Yammer, they want to be able to moderate comments and posts. As Joe has a large team, they want to see and share the status of any comments that are being addressed, which is something Interact supports. Finally, seeing users like an article about an office restructure has never sat right with Joe, or with me, or probably plenty of you as well. In line with many social media sites, some vendors such as Unily offer configurable reaction icons and meanings to expand how users may react to content, so it's more appropriate for the subject that's being shared. So another important part of building a community is being able to reach everyone. I've been pleased to see vendors addressing the needs of frontline workers now for more than ever, and there are some really strong experiences out there now. Joe's company has a large frontline workforce, and they want a mobile experience that's more than just an intranet in their pocket, while still meeting the needs of desk-based colleagues as well. They know not all frontline workers will be on a central database, so offering QR codes to gain access is very helpful. Additionally, the mobile experience doesn't necessarily need to be as large or in-depth as the desktop experience, so a change in the homepage to simpler widgets or an activity feed alone, like Happio here, is more in keeping with social media experiences. An experience that works well on small screen is important too, of course. There are a lot of approaches for Joe and you to consider when it comes to reaching people via mobile. Some products have their origins in mobile-first technology, such as Staffbase and Reach from LiveTiles. These have simplified menus, responsive and reactive content, and understand how to make the most of mobile screens. Others understand the needs of deskless workers, and so they present content in an effective way, such as Communifier. These tools break content down into steps to guide users through screens and through the content in a social media-esque way. The best products also offer dedicated features for frontline workers. For example, Joe is concerned about WhatsApp being used as a shadow tech, so a good alternative could be the chat feature in Koyo. As with everything, you need to consider what's right for your organisation. If you have a lot of frontline workers, then something simpler, or even a dedicated employee app product, which is something else entirely and not covered in this report, might be the best option. If you have a lot of desk workers, ask yourself, what is it they really want to do on mobile? How can the app version of your intranet support these needs? I've mentioned a handful of intranet products that can help create a sense of community and aid with connecting people across the business. Many of the products we've reviewed include strong features that will complement other tools across the digital workplace, so it's worth spending time to work out what you need and which are the most appropriate for you.
To see all the intranet products and platforms we've expertly evaluated, visit clearbox.co.uk/intranet-report to download the free PDF.